gonna go down for sure. Magic Zerg should cancel here. When Magic Zerg saw that the Protoss already had the expansion up, he essentially had two choices: getting that fast third or going for some timing. And you know, when some time passed by and we saw that he did not go for the expo, we were almost guaranteed to see some kind of attack. It was just very unfortunate for him that he did not try to stop the scout or try to make its way to the Zelnaga tower. And as a result, that single Zealot was able to see all these roaches and all these Zerglings rallied in and prompted Chiari to try and defend. And I think had the Zealot not seen all that, Chiari would maybe not have been quite as prepared.
Yeah, so now we see that Chiari will actually get his third up before his opponent, and that's a huge deal, especially when you're a Zerg. Zergs want to have at least one base up on their opponent.
That's right.
As he is still on 2 base, he is up at layer. He's getting more Hydra, so he's going to go with the low-tier Unicom position here. He's getting more and more upgrades. He's finally spreading that creep. We have quite a few active tumors out on the map here, but let's see what Magic Zerg is going to do now. Hydras are awfully slow on creep. There are a few, excuse me here, we have quite a few sentries. We have an Immortal somewhere, Colossi out there as well, and 3 premature force fields. Wasted to a certain extent, but let's see what Magic Zerg is going to do. Is he going to go around?
It's Magic Zerg, okay, I think he's taking out what looks to be an Immortal, and now he's trying to go for the main, but a lot of sentries allowing Chiari to stop this unit with a lot of force fields. A few misplaced ones, I think, a few unnecessary here and there. So good on Magic Zerg forcing out some of those force fields. But Magic Zerg, as usual, a little behind on the scouting, does not know that Chiari has a third up and running already at the 9 o'clock position.
Yeah, that's right. He's amassing quite a few units here. What I like this time around, he's getting his 4th base behind this attack. Or, well, I wouldn't call it an attack, I would call it a contain. At this point, he's keeping Chiari in his base. There's no way Chiari can move out. He's at 34 food. Excuse me, 134 food. He's got 2 Colossi up, Thermal Lands, Twilight Council as well. But yeah, the income, just about even with Protoss slightly in the lead. And now here we come.
Okay, so he spotted the third now, and looks like he's good gearing up for an attack. And I think he can potentially do a lot of damage, maybe take out a couple of gates. And the Voidway is now in, but the Hydras will be able to take out those Voidways quite quickly. But there are force fields, and the Colossus is able to take out almost all the Hydras there. So a great force field play by Chiari, excellent defense. But in the meantime, Magic Zerg does have his 4th up at the bottom right corner. So he is now back up in bases as he should be. His creep spread, as you mentioned earlier, is improving. But he will definitely need to do a little better, especially if with all these Hydras on the field.
That's right. Looking at the probe count, it is 71 drones against 69 probes. So not bad at all. He wants to get about at 80, 85 drone, that number, that magic number, and then go from there. He is upgrading to Spire now. Blink for his opponent. And now we see Chiari trying to take that 4th, and this is where it is going to get just a bit tricky here.
That's right. The 4th base will be quite possibly the game changer here, as Chiari is of course down in bases, as we mentioned earlier. Although I think 3 bases are enough for a Protoss to be able to mass up to that 200-200. A 4th base will definitely make a difference if the game does go on for a little bit longer. The supply count is almost the same. Magic Zerg with about 13 supply ahead. Tell us about the upgrades winners. How are both players doing?
Well, weapons level 2 for the Protoss is just about to finish. As you can see, we have 2 level 2 missile attacks for those Hydras, as well as the Roaches. Carapace level 1 is going to finish quite soon, as we see the first Corruptors, and I think we're definitely in for Blood Lords. That's
right, it's almost certain that Blood Lords will be the name of the game. if the match goes on for a little bit longer. Looks like Carey has now is almost done with his 200-200 ball and is going to push out soon, as I think he should. Quite a few corruptors on the field now, so Magic Zerg definitely wants to take out those Colossi before they're able to do any damage and takes out the Observer, which is good, but this is not going to be pretty for the Zerg. I think he engaged prematurely here, and the Colossi will be able to do a lot of damage before even the first one is taken out, and now all the Corruptors are taken out, and I don't know, winners. Looks like Carey might be able to push in and take out a couple of bases here.
Well, I definitely agree. Poor engagement, small choke point here. Not enough room for those roaches and hydras. The thermal lance of that Colossi melting everything, and again engaging with just a few units here. These are gonna be melted away. We have two Void Rays here in the mix doing their thing. So we have now 171 against 150 supply here. More roaches in production, but there's the GG from Magic Zerg, and Chiari. Well, he takes game number 1 of this best of 3.
That's right, winners. Like you said, very poor engagement by the Zerg. Those narrow points, those narrow choke points are Protoss's dream come true. And Magic Zerg essentially gave him the game with that last engagement. Very poor choice, as I'm sure he already knows. But looking back at the game as a whole, I think Magic Zerg's first mistake was not scouting. For quite a bit, he waited for his first 2 Zerglings to come out before he scouted. I think had he seen the very fast Nexus, the Nexus first play by Carey, he might have tried to go for a 1 base or maybe even a 2 base roach timing, which eventually came, but at that point it was too late, as he did not take out that Zealot, which saw everything coming, allowing Carey to put down a few more cannons, get ready for the attack. And as you saw, winners, eventually the build-up came where Carey had enough Colossi to do a lot of damage, and with the engagement at the choke, it was lights out for Magic Zerg.
That is right. Poor place to engage the Protoss as well. We had 3 Colossi just melting those Hydras away, and I don't think that Magic Zerg did abuse the fact that Zergs have greater mobility than Protoss. He could have maybe made a huge round of Zerglings, maybe sent them in for a counterattack, maybe up to that 3rd base, or to deny that 4th, but Crossfire is not in the... Let me just check, is Crossfire in here? Yes, it is. Crossfire SE is part of the map pool, so we're all good to go here.
Right, another 2v2 map. Crossfire, of course.
1v1.
Sorry, a 1v1 map, just like the map before Daybreak. And we've seen a lot of, I believe it's out of the map pool on some of the tournaments, as it's one of those maps, GSL maps, was just not as successful as the others. In any case, looks like we are going to be starting game 2 here. ZVP, Magic Zerg versus Carey. And hopefully another entertaining ZVP winners.
I hope so too, but honestly, I would have not chosen this map if I were a Zerg.
I almost certainly agree. Unfortunately, for Magic Zerg, he seems to think that it is a Zerg favorite map. In any case, winners, on the top right corner, spawning as the red Protoss, our winner from the last game, Chiari. And on the bottom left corner, spawning as the light blue Zerg, it is Magic Zerg.
That is right here. The reason why I say I would not choose this map is because we have these kind of high ground areas, these kind of plateaus with a few ramps. If you have sentries as well as Colossi who are able to walk over these little gaps, they can just walk up these ramps and over. When you have sentries then force fielding in, your opponent blocking off ramps, denying reinforcements to come in, I mean, it's just game over for the Zerg. But again, there are a lot of little pathways here and there. There are ways to get around to your opponent, and I just hope that Magic Zerg does what a Zerg should do and be mobile with his units.
Right. To add to your point, winners, about this being not a very Zerg-friendly map, is that the 3rd base location here is not very accessible. The Protoss actually might can access this base very easily, and it'll be very difficult for the Zerg to defend. That's another thing to note down for this matchup. Looks like Carey is not going for that Forge Fast Expand again, where it looks like he's gonna wall off his ramp with the Gateway, a Cybernetic Score, and most likely a Zealot on hold position. In the meantime, it looks like Magic Zerg has decided to go for a pool first once again, and I think will most likely take his gas, or should be taking his gas very soon here.
Yeah, again we have that lovely pesty probe there, also nicknamed Pikachu by SunCow, denying Magic Zerg his expansion at the natural. He even put down a little pylon, and well, he wants to give himself a little advantage, and in StarCraft 2 it's all about the small things adding up to make a big difference in the end, as we see now. Carey getting his second gas already, so obviously he wants to get a few sentries out early. He wants to be able to force field this ramp, which is relatively small. But like I said earlier, Protoss definitely like to have a large number of sentries on this map. What do you think about Mutalisks on this map for Magic Zerg?
I think Mutas are actually a good choice in this map, as there is a lot of room for harassment here. And one other thing I'd like to add is that the main does have those destructible rocks, which can be taken out by Mutas and can allow for some kind of Zergling run-by at the Protoss main. That's another thing to consider. We do have 6 Zerglings here out on the field. Looks like they will poke and see that the Wallen is complete and they cannot do much. One thing I'd like to say is that... Oh, but wait, winners.
Oh, is this Dark Templars?
Looks like it is going to be a Dark Templar expand here. Twilight Council going down at the Protoss main, and there are no Overlords nearby. There's actually one making its way towards the main, but will Carey be able to deny this if he spots this in time?
Well, he does have a sentry, so he could tickle that Overlord away if he wanted to.
Alright, so great timing now to drop the pylon at the corner. He does see the Overlord, and I think should probably spawn a few units to try and... Why is that moving that sentry away? This Overlord is getting awfully close to that Twilight Council.
Yeah, let me see. Oh, he even... Oh no, he's gonna see it. Oh, did he see it?
Yes, he did, winners. He does know what's coming.
No,
he did. Yeah, he does. He does see it, winners.
Yeah. Did he click on it?
I don't know if he clicked on it, but...
Spore crawlers, yes.
Exactly. Look at the production tab. He is building a spore crawler, which tells us that he did see that, and I think that was very careless by Carey. He did see... if he did not see the Overlord coming, I might understand, but he had all the time in the world. He did put down that pylon at the corner and saw the Overlord coming, yet did not move the sentry to try and block it.
Oh well, and this is very... this is going to be very cost ineffective. We have that one pylon here on the very bottom of the right side of the map, but I don't think it's gonna do any good at all, because there's one spore crawler at the natural as well as a spine crawler. DTs have to do damage in order to pay for themselves, and this is a scenario where it is not going to work. Very unfortunate.
I would have liked to see, like I said, when it is a very, very heavy investment, especially this early in the game, and he's still off one base. So essentially, you know, after investing all this money this early, he would like to do a lot of damage. We do see both Dark Templars now making their way towards the Zerg main, but of course the Spy Crawler there with great position. But no, look at this, winners. One Dark Templar. No, he shouldn't fall back. He's now headed towards the Zerg main, and very, very lucky for Carey, or might I say, very, very careless by Magic Zerg allowing that Dark Templar in, and now he's killed off already 3,
4, 5,
4. So this is slowly becoming very, very effective for Carey. He is finally taken out, but not before doing you know, more damage than he should have.
Oh, but I like this here. Look at the Dark Templar here going to work on these rocks.
That's right. This is also very clever from Carey. So Carey is, you know, even though it was scouted, even though he invested a lot in it, he is trying to make it work. I think you know, although Magic Zerg was smart enough to